So we're going to pass it out now to Chaim and I think Alex as well regarding the practical aspects of the work in the 10. So go ahead, Chaim, please.
Yeah, hi everyone. Alex, are you there? Or he's there. Okay. Well, if he isn't, if you are, open your mic and say something because I can't see you. Okay. So, today's topic is equality in the 10. And before we get into it, I first want to say great thank you to Women New York 3 for what they said, and to CABU 9 with their presentation. I think we both saw two beautiful examples of how a 10 should work, of what it means to maintain a good atmosphere in the 10. I think CABU 9 also gave us, shared with us how they overcome their difficulties and confusions, and how they rise above it, and how they always attribute it to the Creator. I think that's the right way. So thank you guys for sharing not just your hearts, but also how you guys work. It's a good example for all of us. Oh, and by the way, you mentioned being at retreats. I know that some of you have, but some of you, I guess, haven't. You should try Congress. Just saying. Okay, now, today's topic is equality in the 10. So first I want to read something. This is by Rabash from Concerning the Importance of Friends. Precisely when one sees one's friend as being at an equal degree to one's own, one can accept the other as a friend and bond with him. This is so because a friend means that both parties are in the same state. This is what common sense dictates. In other words, they have the same views and thus decide to bond. Then both of them act towards the goal that they both wish to achieve. And there's another excerpt I want to read. This is from the same article, Concerning the Importance of Friends by Rabash. With love of friends, when friends bond to create unity among them, it explicitly means that they are equal. This is called unity. For example, if they do business together and say that the profits will not be distributed equally, is this called unity? Clearly, a business of love of friends should be when all the profits and possessions that the love of friends yields will be equally controlled by them. So clearly, friends have to be equal in a 10, right? If we're talking about being friends, I think Rabash mentions in another article that if you are above your friend, then you can be his Rav, his teacher, but not his friend. And if you are below him, then he can be your teacher, but you are not friends. So being friends in the 10 means that you're equal, right? Now, I'm going to take a vote. We're going to take a vote. But please answer sincerely, okay? Raise your hands if you feel that everyone in your 10 is equal. Raise your hands if you feel that not everyone in your 10 is equal. Okay. I think the results are pretty clear, right? Because there is the ideal, and then there is reality. And we connect in 10s in order to rise above our egos, in order to learn to bestow, in order to change our nature. But we come into our 10s corrupted, the way we were created by the Creator. And therefore, we naturally feel more comfortable with people who are more like-minded with us, who think like us, who have our mentality, our culture. We feel more comfortable with them. And then if some friends are different from us in their character, we feel farther away from them. What do we do with it? This is a big problem, and it can cause division in the 10. It can cause subgroups to form and all kinds of problems like this. So there's no quick fix. Just to put it up front, there's no quick fix. Okay. But what we should do is remember this. We may feel closer to each other naturally, emotionally. But the point in the heart has nothing to do with our emotions, has nothing to do with our culture, with our character, with our native tongue, with anything that we have that comes from this world. Our point in the heart comes from being at one point one Kli, all of us, which broke, which became self-centered. And that, by default, is equal in all of us. And that's what we should focus on. Always. We should look beyond what we see on the surface. And with this, if we keep this in mind, we can work in tens. Okay? We will still feel more comfortable with some friends than with others. But if we remember that everyone in the 10 has a point in the heart and is yearning to connect, to rise above the differences, then what we can do is use those differences between us to increase our unity. How so? If, for example, I'm taking Cabu, for example, because they just spoke, I feel closer to Essien than to Pedro. Okay, and I have a problem, and I don't know what to do with it, then maybe I can speak to Essien. I can share it with him because I feel comfortable with him. And he will be able to help me out, to maybe see another perspective, to maybe bring it to the 10 instead of me. You see what I'm saying? We can use those corporeal closeness to the benefit of the 10. Not to create subgroups, but to increase division. Because some friends feel more comfortable speaking to some friends, and that's fine. I know that in my 10, PT6, everyone is very dedicated. Okay? But there is one friend, for example, who feels comfortable sharing his problems with me, including why he sometimes can't make it to lessons and things like that. So do you think the friends are mad at me for being like that? Then not only are they not mad at me, they're asking, Chaim, what does he say? What's the situation with him? They check up on him through me. Okay, so they use it because they know I can reach him. They use that. And we do the same with other friends as well. It's not a subdivision. We just use channels that are already open to learn about friends, to learn about the problems. Maybe they feel uncomfortable sharing it with the whole 10. but the rest of the friends are worried, when the friends doesn't show up to the lesson. So instead of going and calling him and asking him and maybe saying the wrong words at the wrong time or touching some sensitive points, they use someone who already knows how to speak to that friend, who already has an open channel, and say, why don't you talk to him and let us know what's happening. You see what I'm saying? So equality does not exist. It doesn't exist in nature. Where do you see equality in nature? Right? Hierarchy is everywhere. But in the 10, we use those differences between us to increase the unity by keeping those open channels in order for everyone to come closer together. And for example, when I talk to that friend, I ask him first, can I share it with the 10? And he knows, that I'm not just speaking for myself. I tell him the friends are worried. So he says yes. And if he says yes, but not this one, not this bit that I told you, then I'll share only what he allowed me to say. And the friends respect that. Why? Because we don't want to say something that will alienate that friend. So if we constantly manipulate these connections, natural connections that we have, for the benefit of the unity of the 10, it becomes a valuable tool to work with. Okay? All right. So now, if you have questions, get ready to ask them. And before I take questions, I want to relate to 2 questions that were sent to us during the week, and which we are very grateful for them. Thank you for sending the questions. Please send more. It's very important because they relate to all of us. Believe me, there are no personal issues. I mean, there's no problem in a 10 that doesn't exist in all the 10s. Varying degrees in various forms and stuff like that, but all problems exist everywhere. So I'm going to relate to those first, and then if you have more questions and we have more time, then we'll relate to them. And if not, please send them to the Arvut team. Okay, so the first question was, I'll summarize. I took both questions and summarized them so that we can, just to save time. To what extent should friends bring corporeal issues into the 10, since we learn that friends' corporeality is my spirituality, correct? So there's always a debate. In some 10s, they're really intolerable toward it. We are speaking only about spiritual matters. We read excerpts. We make discernments. We don't bring our personal lives into the 10. Other 10s say, no, but everyone's, personal life is still my business because, if I love the friends, then I love the friends. And we need to open it all up to everyone. Some friends keep mix it all up in one chat. Some 10s divide the chats into, this is a spiritual chat, that's a corporeal chat, and here we'll talk only about this, and here we'll talk only about that. And then they tend to go into chit-chatting and all kinds of stuff that's really unrelated to anything. How to find the right balance? So here I want to get back to Cabio 9 and the example that Essien gave us. He, I think, described in beautiful words the answer that I wanted to give. He said, the friend's pains are my pains. The friend's joys are my joys. If he went into a new home, I send him a bottle of wine. If he got a new job, I'm happy for him. If he has a problem with something, I'm sad for him. I sympathize with him. It's not like he is preoccupied with the friend's corporeality. But when you love someone, you love someone. You don't make distinctions with, I love only that part and I hate the rest of it. Then you don't like that person. You're not related to him, not in your heart. Okay? So it's impossible for a friend's corporeality, when it's a serious issue, not to affect me unless I don't care about that friend. I know that we pray for the success of all the friends all the time in every aspect of their lives, in their family lives, in their business, not in their business. We don't get into the deals they do, but we want them to have a good job that allows them to make a decent living so they can focus on the goal and don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to make ends meet. That's not corporeality. This is spirituality. Because I care about the friend's ability to focus on the path. Okay? So we do need to know what is going on with the friend. For example, I gave this example of my friend. I talked to him about his job. I need to know why he can't make it to lessons. So he tells me, when he gets up to work, or the busy times that he has at work, that he can't make it to lessons, or stuff that he has with his family. His wife is not well and he has to take care of the toddler they have. What? So do I care about his corporeality? I do in that sense, but I have to. Otherwise, what am I going to tell him? I don't care about that. Just tell me about your spirituality. Come on. So there is no line that you can draw, but within you, there should be a line that says, I care about that friend. And as such, I want to see that he has a good life. I don't need to talk to him about sports or about politics. That's chit-chatting. But about his well-being, about his health, about his job. I mean, if he's doing okay, or is he afraid of being fired, or, if it affects his ability to participate, that I do need to know about. And the whole 10 needs to know about and think about him and pray for him. Bala Sulam even wrote letters to friends talking to them about their corporeality. So it's a fine line. You need to learn how to work with it, but that's the basic principle, okay? If it concerns a person's life, then if you love that friend, you need to care about that as well. All right. I'm sorry. The other question was, okay, some tens are largely inactive. So what do you do when only one friend attends the Sunday meetings, for example? How can the rest of the friends hear the message? In that case, buddy, you're the liaison. You're the representative. You have to pass it on to them. I don't see any other way they can get it. There is a recording, and you can get the recording, but will they watch it? You can maybe cut the parts that you think are most relevant and send it to them. But again, you need to make sure that they watch it. And just tell them about the importance of it. And try to get one, at least one more. If there's two of you that support it, then you guys are already a force within the 10. And maybe from there you can move on. Also, how to make decisions in 10s where only few are active. Rav said very clearly several times that if a friend is inactive, then what does it mean that he is a friend? In what sense is he a friend? You make decisions with the friends who are there. Okay? And the rest will have to annul. It's not that difficult for them to annul because they don't participate anyway, so it's no big deal for them. Okay? But those who want to be part of the decision-making process need to be part of the 10. Need to be there when decisions are made. Otherwise, how can they participate in that? Based on what? How will they even know that there is a debate? And if they don't feel comfortable with it, they can always choose to leave. But don't throw them out. Don't rush to throw friends out because they are inactive. Okay? Give them time. Friends wake up, sometimes after years of being dormant. If a friend is not doing damage, if a friend does not cause division or bring in material that is not related to Bnei Baruch and brings his own ideas from who knows where into the 10, then it's a problem. Then consult with the Arvut team. We may need to separate him from the 10, depending on the situation. But otherwise, if a friend is simply inactive, we all have our ups and downs, and for some friends, the downs are long. Be patient with them, be loving with them. They have a point in the heart, even if it's asleep right now. Okay? Okay, just a quick one. Regarding the question was, you promised to go, we'll go over the rules of the workshop in the meetings. Yes, but not as such, because we're not talking about workshops right now. We're talking about the Rabash principles of work in the 10. But these are basically the rules of the workshop. The rules that Rav gave based on the rules that Rabash gave him in those social articles. So the talks we have today are how to implement these rules in the 10s, because we don't conduct workshops all the time, right? But if you want to take one rule, for example, just to use it as a rule of thumb, when you guys do have discussions, try not to negate, to certainly not to belittle, but also not to start from a point of view that says, I, on the other hand, think that As soon as you started this way, you've alienated that friend who just spoke before you. Okay? Present your own idea, your own perspective. Even if it's opposite, there is a way to connect it. As long as you don't say, I, on the other hand, or I disagree. Things like that are that's a recipe for division, right? Try to avoid that. Okay, sorry for the lengthy, well, I had to. Okay, so questions, Genya.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I just wanted to do a quick follow-up on what you were saying in regards to friends' pains and my pains, and we should definitely sympathize. And let's say that's the case, but what if, for example, one of the friends are connected to you and they like to speak to you in regards to what's going on with their life emotionally wise? And what if, let's say, they're talking to you on the phone for maybe hours regarding what's going on with their life, and you want to sympathize and hear them out, but at the same time it's taking too much time. So how to be maybe nice about it? And
What would you do if that friend was your friend regardless of Kabbalah? Because there are people who like to talk about themselves for hours regardless of Kabbalah, right? So what do you do with it? It's the same situation as in regular, for regular people. These things happen in every relationship.
Right, but that's the thing. Like in regular life, we just politely get off the phone and find an excuse. But here we like in the 10, so we need to annul ourselves and be like, so it's a little bit tricky. So
Well, so then don't let it be tricky, be polite, and just once you understood what that friend wanted to tell you, express your sympathy, show that you got the point, and just politely say you got to go. Because you got to go.
thank you.
Okay, I'll take one more question because we're out of time completely.
Chaim?
So Vlad and
Chaim?
Grisha, I apologize. Yeah, who? What?
We can go a little bit longer if needs be.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay. You guys still here? 103.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So Dri.
Let's see. So when you have like the active friends of the 10, working with the will to receive, but the not so active friends that are very busy, tend to see that working with the inclination as offensive and abusive. What to do in that case? Should we just try to show a good example of covering above,
Abusive
or
language is out of the question in the 10. It doesn't matter what kind of mood you come into the 10 with. You don't take it out on the friends. You simply don't. Keep a punching bag in your room and take it out on it, but don't take it out on the friends. If you have criticism, find a constructive way to express it in a way that makes the 10 more unified, but no personal attacks and no abusive language.
so is
It's
this
just,
what we're restricting?
sorry?
Is this what we restrict? We're restricting that desire to kind of react with the will to receive also?
It's not as a spiritual restriction. It is simply a necessary rule of conduct in order for us to be able to think about unity rather than having to think about protecting myself from being offended by someone. If a friend comes and attacks me in a place where I should be opening my heart, how can I open my heart? The 10 needs to be a place where I can feel safe opening my heart. But opening my heart doesn't mean I let out all the crap that's in there at the friends. It means I bring them into my heart, not that I take what I have in my heart on them. Okay? That's how we should be thinking about it. Opening my heart means having them in and not spilling myself out. Okay? That's the attitude. Okay. More. All right. Grisha.
In our tents, we have friends with different level of activity. Some of them not missing even single event. Some of them like rarely guest in the tent. Also, we have friends in the tent with a different level of devotion. Some of them on fire. They just have a huge hisaron. They're trying to be in Arvut. Some of them like that's okay. They're part of the tent. We are not talking about the friends that are damaging or like what we just discussed before that. But how to keep back to the main topic of your presentation, how to keep the equality, having such different.
There is no equality. There is no equality. If a friend is not as devoted, then he's not equal because his devotion is not equal. However, and that's a big however, you relate to those friends who you feel are less devoted with the same love you would relate to the friend who is the most devoted. Again, I'll give an example from my 10. In my 10, there's a friend whom we haven't seen in months. In a lesson, at a lesson. He comes to Zoom meetings, usually, quite often. We at least one out of the 2 Zooms a day, he's there, usually with his camera off. He never once felt from us unwanted. It's so good to see you. Can you open your mic and tell us something? We can't wait to hear your voice. Things like that. That's all he hears from us. Always. It's an unchanging attitude toward that friend. We know he's not going to come. And he often doesn't open his mic, even though we ask him. Like that, very nicely, very warmly. All that is true, but it doesn't matter. It's not about what he does and where he is. It's about how we treat him. That's what we judge in ourselves. Instead of judging him, we judge how we treat him. So whenever he speaks, and he speaks about the 10, you should hear the warmth he has for the 10. You guys are so embracive, so welcoming. He feels like the 10 is his lifeline. Even though he doesn't come to lessons and it doesn't matter. So of course he's not equal. When we make decisions in the 10, he's not there. We don't count his opinion because we can't even get his opinion. It doesn't matter, and he knows it. Whatever we decide, he goes with it because he knows his situation. Okay? So he's not equal in that sense. And yet he gets the same amount of love whenever he's present, and even more than others. Because, once he's there, we try to hook him by that. And you're never going to hook anyone if you treat him, if once he comes, once in a blue moon, he shows up, you start beating him up for not showing up more. That's the surest way to kick him out. But we always must keep in mind, when you decide to alienate someone, what does it do to your spirituality? You need to think that.
Could we say that even friend, if friend not damaging the 10, but he is not equal, we rise above, this fact that he is not equal and treat him as a friend with love, even he is not equal.
I would suggest not even considering, why make comparisons? Why decide who is more equal than who? If you were the father of all the members of your 10, none of them would be equal, but you would love them all, right? That's it. You don't start comparing them and make saying this one is more my son than the other. Don't put it on the table, the question of equality, of value. Just put on the agenda, how much love can you give now to those who are present? And then you'll never go wrong.
Time 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
Yes.
Wow, you gave us a lot of time. Okay, great. David.
Hello, Haim. So in R10 we
By the way, David,
have
I'm glad to see you have light in your room.
yes, it's one of those very rare occasions. Thank you.
No, I saw it during the lesson as well.
Oh well, yeah. I'm getting into that point where I can now. So thank God. Anywho, back to what you were saying. This question isn't about equality per se, but it's about considering who is a friend, we have a couple friends in R10 who aren't able to make the morning lessons due to their corporeal reasons, and they haven't been able to for some time. But yet they are participating in everything else, in group work that we have to do in our meetings. Like they're there and they show their devotion that way, sending the group resources and such. Now, do we, since this friend cannot make the morning lesson, for reasons unknown to us, all we know is that he has corporeal things going on. Is this person no longer considered a friend?
Based on everything I just said, what would you guys say?
I mean, I think so. I would think so. If he's able to, I mean, if he's able to at least participate and be connected to the group in that sort of sense, I would think that he's considered a friend. I mean,
Does he
yeah.
watch the lesson afterwards?
Oh yeah, he listens to recordings all the time. He's tied to the lesson that way.
So there's no problem.
Okay.
This is what
Just had
you can pray, you know, for him that at least once in a while he'll be able to join you guys live. But you know, beyond that, don't do anything. He does what he can. He does what he can.
all
right,
right.
Francis.
Thank you, hon.
Sorry, did you say Francis?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Hein. Yeah, I really appreciate, some very good points, great points you've raised in your presentation, because this is a very hot topic for Kabu 9, to the point that even when it comes to praying for the friends, because we carry the friends in our heart, we pray day and night for the friends, but there is this strong feeling among some of us that even when it comes to prayer, you've got to delineate the line, what is corporeal and what is spiritual. To the extent that some of us feel like, oh, let's just focus only on spiritual things and nothing corporeal. But the friends need bread before they can, practice the Torah. And so you raised that point. I'm asking you, could you please throw more light on that? Because this is a very hot topic for us, where you said do not draw a line there, but have a line within you. What did you mean by that?
That you want to support the friend's corporeality. And by support, I mean praying for him. If you can do something more than that, like, I don't know, help him find a job, then do that. So you want to support the friend's corporeality so that it will enable him to participate in the spiritual work. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, you don't need to pray for him to become a millionaire.
Even if the friend feels that is what he wants.
But the necessity, the basic needs of a person.
Yes.
Without it, you really can't exist in the world today. So, of course, you need to pray for them.
So, right? If a friend tells me about his desires, what he wants, to practice all that we are being taught on this path, I have to draw a line and say, okay, he wants too much. So let me pray only for his basic necessities. But what is basic might differ from you and me.
He should decide that for himself. Don't decide for him what is necessary for him.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because what one might regard as basic might be just, somebody might see that, oh, this is too much.
There's a very famous story that one of the greatest sages, greatest Kabbalists of the old time, what do you call that thing where you carry the nobles? Two people carry them, and they sit in that thing. I forgot the name.
Is it a palanquin?
What'd you say?
Palanquin.
Yes, exactly. Palanquin, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So there was this student who came from a rich family, and he was used to it. that he would have people carrying him around all day. That's how he got from place to place. So in order for him to study, the greatest sage of the generation, I forget his name, it's written in the Talmud somewhere, would carry him. Okay? So, because that was necessary for him. I think that says it all.
Thank you very much.
I think this is, in Francis at COBU 9, it's not just a big topic for them. I think this is a big topic for a lot of our 10s. And I know
Yeah.
you're out of time, but maybe you can continue this a little bit more next week or sometime in the future. It's a
Okay.
good topic.
Yes.
important.
I have a list, David, so please send me a memo or I'll forget. Okay.
Thank you, Chaim.
All right,
Appreciate it.
friends. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Just want to let all the
Very
friends know
much.
we had about 104 people in our gathering today. I want to thank the Arvut team. Want to thank the Women New York 3 for sharing with us, and of course CABU 9 and Chaim as well. Invest if you can play a little bit of music to carry us out. Have a great and wonderful week. And remember, there's none else besides him. Keep smiling, friends.
Amen.
I know one. Who knows what? I know one. Who knows what? I know one. One is the earth we all live on. One is the earth that we all live on. Who knows what? I know one. One is a pulse like the beat of a drum. One is a pulse like the beat of a drum. Who knows what? I know one. One is the game that we've already won. One is the game that we've already won. There's a special place in my heart that'll never let us be apart. There's a flame that burns for us, a flame of eternal love. Who knows what? I know one. Guided by a force that shines from above. Guided by a force that shines from above. Who knows what? I know one. One is the love that connects.
L'chaim, friends. L'chaim.
Chaim, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
Behind.
Bye.